Good morning, I'm Dave Crane. Nice to have you with me on Speak on Stage. I say good morning, it could be any time. Now, if I'm looking a little bit worse for wear, there's a very good reason why. And the reason why is because I got up about half an hour after I went to bed. Well, not quite 3 hours. The thing about being online and the thing about being in kind of self-imposed quarantine is you start doing business all around the world, which is fantastic, but it also means you've got to play with other people's time zones. So around about 2 o'clock this morning, I was in a conference call on a strategy meeting with colleagues from the US and from the UK. And it was a really interesting meeting, apart from the first thing we did was do some meditation. So everyone's like, close your eyes, let's just get centered. And I'm like, no, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to snore. So I had to drag myself out of meditation and start going without the whistling bit, because then you snap everybody out. Okay, so which is nice actually, because I was told that I do a breakfast show in the UK, and I suppose for time zone difference, it is a breakfast show in the UK, because if we go out for around about 10:30, 11 o'clock-ish here in the UAE, because I'm broadcasting from Dubai, then it's going to be about 7:30 or so in the UK. In India and Pakistan, it's going to be kind of mid-afternoon, I think, lunch to mid-afternoon. And in various different places, Australia is going to be late evening or early evening. And in America, it's going to be... Now, a couple of questions I get from people is, first of all, why are you doing the show? Thanks very much for being so kind. I'm doing the show because I want to help people to learn that being able to speak and communicate effectively is like having a martial art. Your ability to talk to people, your ability to get people to buy in and tie into the things that you want to share is a free marketing tool for you, that by doing video, which is 80% of online, you can really drive what people do when it comes to looking for a practitioner. Because when they see you and get used to you and they like you, they'll hire you. So that's basically what this is all about. And right now, for a lot of people going through all kinds of different types of trauma, I know I can help. My background is being a hypnotherapist for about 20 years. And yes, that includes being a stage hypnotist. I don't go, ooh, I don't go look into my eyes, because you can just go like that. And people can go into trance state. Yes, I know. You have to Google it and you'll see. So I've been involved in that space for quite a while as a therapist and life coach, and I know that there's a second pandemic of basically of mental health that's going to be a massive issue for people. And if you're wondering what you mean by that, Dave, well, let's put it into perspective. If you've been in lockdown and if you've been scared about what's going to happen with the next stage of getting out, people don't want to order food in case it's got the virus, they don't want to talk to friends, meet friends, get out of the house just in case. These are massive issues for many people. And so I do believe that there is going to be a long-term trauma attached to it. That's partly why I want to be able to connect and help people right now. For those who've lost people as well, it's a massive challenge too. But also because of the fact I train people to speak. And I'm a speaker myself, as you probably guessed. So I travel around the world working with people and doing stuff on stage until the lockdown. And I do even more of it here online. So some interesting questions which I'll be answering for you soon. Meanwhile, please remember to subscribe, connect with me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube. You can subscribe on there, on Periscope and Twitter and Instagram. All those different formats, we're going out live, so I'd love to be able to catch up with you. And if you want to get alerts, to make sure you do that, subscribe and ring the bell. I don't think it's called the Liberty Bell, but it's kind of like that when you say that you want to subscribe. Right, answering some of your big questions coming up next. So first amongst all the questions is, why are you doing this on a weekend? And that question actually came in from my wife. My gorgeous Aziza. Why are you working on a weekend? And the answer is simple, because you're probably watching this and thinking, what do you mean a weekend, Dave? It's not the weekend. Well, it really depends where you are. One of the reasons for doing a show on a Friday is if you're based in the UAE or in much of the Muslim or Middle Eastern calendar, you go from a week of Sunday through to Thursday. That's your 5 days of work. Then you have a Friday and a Saturday as your weekend. Now that's perfect and it's easily manageable and everything. In fact, the Friday is more like a Sunday. It's a religious day, just in case you need to know. But the challenge is, if you're doing business with the West, which normally goes from Monday to a Friday and then Saturday, Sunday off, it means you've got a natural overlap of people. So when we take a day off, it's a day of work For many people, Friday, you're at work now and you're thinking, well, I'd love to have a day off, but then I'd lose my Sunday. Well, Sunday we start back. So I'm going to be broadcasting every day until I see what the balance is for most people. Whether people like to have 7 days, people want to have 3 days, people want to have every other day, or they want it just on the weekend, or they want to never see me at all again. But that's referring, obviously, back to the wife. So that's a simple question. Another question that came in is, how long are you going to continue to do this for? Each show is about 15 to 20 minutes. What's your problem? No, the answer is actually, the plan is to do it for as long as people need it. When people are able to speak effectively and drive their business, and they still have need for me to help them get to that stage, then I'll be happy to hang up my clogs, not that I wear clogs, my Marvel sandals, and instantly change to something else. So thanks for those questions. Other questions I've had is, do you really think we can change our business and go completely digital? No, I don't think we can do, but what I do think is you can find a bit of your business that is digital friendly. And if you can imagine that you reinvent your business, we talked about it with the hedgehog concept in the last episode. If you can reinvent your business to be effectively like the lowest hanging fruit in the garden, and you can pick it and you can eat it straight away, and that's a digital thing, then maybe you need to just improve and scale that. So you do more and more and more and more of that, and then it becomes a digital thing. So for instance, if you're a chef and you've got a kitchen or you've got a restaurant that people normally come to, why don't you create cooking shows, do them live like this straight from your kitchen, and then what you can do is call it a dark kitchen. Don't call it dark necessarily as your title, because people think that you're like Darth Vader, or maybe you're cooking up small kittens or something. Dark kitchen means that you can't see the kitchen when you go to a restaurant. And in many cases, this will be a perfect business model to create dishes for people, maybe even live. Let them have a webcam so they can see what's going on in your restaurant. And then as they order it, you can ship it straight to them. Not shipping, but you can do the logistics stuff and have it delivered. Now, many room service style, restaurant service style organizations do a similar thing where you go onto a website, you choose the food, you look at pictures of menus. But imagine you were being live. Imagine people could see you either 24/7, or you were doing regular shows that you've put out, or first thing in the morning like this, you do a show to showcase what it is that you've got with your special for the day, with your menu. How many people would watch that and want to order from you because they're really curious about the kind of food that you'd be able to create? See? There's a method in madness. I believe that every single business has the opportunity to create a video version or a digital version of what it is that they do. Maybe if you don't like going online, maybe if you don't like speaking, you can get a number of members of your staff to do it, or you can get somebody else to do it for you. You can hire somebody to front your company. I mean, most organizations would have a receptionist. Why not hire somebody to make the videos? Or sponsor somebody who's already doing that kind of thing and get them to talk about your brand. There's a ton of different ways of doing this, and when you do it really effectively, you'll find it could really change your game. If you just joined me, by the way, welcome to Speak on Stage. My name's Dave Crane. I love your comments. I love your thoughts. Please continue to share them. Say hi. It really means a difference to me, because it means I know it's worthwhile doing this for you. The more you say hi, the more you give me your shares, your comments, your questions, and your thoughts, the more I know that this is working for you, and the more I can focus on making it better for you as well. Well, today's show, as you probably realized when you looked at the actual title of it, was this. Did you see this bit? It was online and ice cold, and you're probably wondering, right, okay, Dave, online and ice cold. What do you mean by that? Well, very simply, there's 2 stages to it. First of all, the online bit is about 7 freelance jobs that you could be doing online, and I'll explain a bit more about that in a moment. And the ice cold is all about the iceberg concept, which I'll share with you a little bit later on, and it'll make perfect sense, as always things do later on. I'd love to have your thoughts, I'd love to have your comments. Everything I share with you, if you comment it and say, that was great, Dave, I'll know you like more of that kind of thing. If you just have your breakfast or your coffee, and you sit there and you go like this, that's okay as well, but I'm not watching you in your house, so I have no idea what is going on. So please feel free to share your comments and your feedback, and I'd love to have more stuff from you. So going to the online part of it, And this is what I wanted to share with you. 7 opportunities for you to be making money as a 1.5 job or a side hustle. Now, for those of you who've known me for a while, I do talk about side hustles quite a lot. And you're probably going, well, what is a side hustle? A side hustle is, imagine you have 1.5 jobs. Your normal job that pays the wages, and a 0.5 that is a hobby or something that you enjoy doing as a pastime or something you think you're quite good at but you'd like to do more with, but you just have it as a side hustle. Before the lockdown in the US, which has about 300 million people, there is roughly about 53 million had a side hustle. And it could be anything from walking the dogs to mowing lawns to having an online store to crocheting to making cakes or having a full-on proper mechanics business that you run on a weekend and people can bring their cars around and get it done. There's huge reasons for doing this. One of which is the extra income. Think about this. If you have a 1.5 job and you earn a little bit from there, you don't have to suck up to the boss ever again to get a raise. You don't have to play that same game of, going for a meal, going for a barbecue, sucking up to all the people to make it all work. Not that we get a chance to do that in lockdown anyway, or self-imposed in many cases. You can stay where you are. You have to just defend your territory in the job, if you're in a big organization, and make your money from a side business. Now, why should that be of relevance? Well, first of all, it means you work less hard and you deal with less stress. And if somebody gives you a hard time, but you know your job is safe, you can ignore it and not care. But also, the fact is, if you are stuck and you do have to, you can step up and increment your part-time job by either going full-time or getting somebody in to help you with it, or scaling it, or adding more affiliate products that you can sell from it. And if you lost your job, you could step right over to that and do it full-time. Does that make sense? So that's why it's so useful to have a 0.5 job. And right now, with so many people having lost their jobs, I'd really advise looking at this as a way of improving. And if you already have a job and you're quite stressed and quite busy, still keep it in your head. There could be other options. So now that the scene is set, here's 7 freelance jobs that you could have that would make a huge difference, paying more than $18 an hour. If you're interested in this, then these will be perfect for you. First one is this, and your skill set may lend itself to it, that might not. Project manager. Think about the projects. If you're online, you might have skills, you might have admin skills for running things, but you don't actually want to do the heavy lifting yourself. You could have a number of people training you or working with you as their project manager, where you coordinate all the different people from different places around the world, or from the offices, or wherever people are working from home, and you just bring it all together. Somebody might want that to happen because they're busy working on their normal business and they have another project. They would pay you to make that other project come together. So number 2 is this one, executive assistant or virtual assistant. Executive assistant or office manager, whichever way you want to look at it, is somebody who helps to organize all the stuff for somebody who's an entrepreneur who's really busy. That's basically the kind of thing. Now, a lot of these people have existed for a long time. You might already be doing that job. And it can pay very well. And you can also do it on scale for lots of different people at the same time. You basically are their PA, you're their office manager. You look after all the things. You can work it out how you can take people's calls, so you can have an email address, so you answer as them. You can look at all their emails and reply to the stuff that needs to be and flag it up to the boss, whatever they need. A lot of different opportunities, and yes, you can do it from home. Editor. Magazines, blogs, or even actually editing video is something that you can have. People can supply stuff through the broadband or send stuff to you by email or WeTransfer or Slack or whichever service that you want to use to stay in contact with people. All you have to do is sit there all day long and edit. That could be copywriting and changing a whole lot of things at the same time. Number 4 is interpreter. You could be interpreting stuff for people. Well, if they're in front of somebody else, maybe. Now, I know there's a lot of apps that go into this as well, but interpreter could be that you're on a Zoom call between 2 different people who've got things that they need to say to each other, and you could be there as a disembodied voice, or actually being there on the Zoom call, and you can translate everything that gets said between them. Yeah, sure, they could get somebody else in, but why? Why not get you? And you don't have to do it all the time, but if you do it properly, and even if you do some great videos to show people who you are, then you can also guarantee that you'll be in high demand. The odds are people who hire you once, if you like what you do, they'll hire you again and again and again. And you'll get better at it because you'll understand their accents, the way they think, the way they want messages to be delivered, and you'll become like their second in command when it comes to meetings. Very interesting. Next up, quantitative market researcher. The ability to go online and find out details for people, to do research, to find out what the facts are, the figures. This is really important now, especially when you're talking about big data and data analysis being more precious in many ways than money, gold, or oil, maybe even water. Data is the number one thing that if you can keep on top of that and you can manipulate it and do it for people in good ways, not in dark ways, then it's a really useful job to have. Next up is medical coder. Exactly as it says, coding for the medical industry. And also that's going to grow. If you think about the growth of telemedicine, think about the amount of doctors and psychologists and people who are not seeing their clients face to face, but they're doing it through an online channel now, or they will be when they find out how to do it. And guess who's going to help them? Then you have a huge opportunity of connecting with people, and that is only going to get bigger and bigger. And the final thing is this, and there's loads more, and we'll bring them in future episodes. Tutor. Tutor, train people. Now, right now, schools are going for a real change because schools needed to go for a real change for a very, very long time. And it sounds like I'm being horrible, but I'm not. Look, I'll talk about education properly another time, but the education system needed a rehaul for a very long time because the idea of training people to go to university and then to go and get a job when the job doesn't exist anymore, and university qualifications you can get from an online course, and the idea that you're going to have somebody tell you whether you're good or not good based on their idea of the world when they went to school about 20 years ago, but the world is changing so quickly that in order to get into it and be successful right now, you need to be looking at what we did during the lockdown, going digital and changing and reinventing your business on a daily basis. But I'm not going to talk about education today. So tutors, there's a lot of people who need help. Whether it's kids catching up at school, whether it's people who are doing a training course on the side but do need a little bit of help in it, people who need to learn a new language, people who want to get skilled at stuff that you can't easily learn on a course or at a school. Like for instance, marketing. I tutor. Well, more mentoring and coaching. If you want to be better at public speaking, if you want to grow your brand, even if you want a web TV show like this, then you want to go to somebody who's capable of doing it. And you want somebody who's capable of doing it because they do it for a living. If you're a tutor, and we know tutors don't normally get paid enough money, this is a wonderful opportunity for you, because what you can do with this is you can boost your money by having people come to you directly for your expertise on top of the fact that you do it for a normal job. And you can charge what you want. You charge what people will pay you. If you don't charge, you're daft. So I hope this helps. These are some online ideas for running your special business, and I hope that you take it and start working with it because the opportunities are endless. So the second part of what we talked about, and you may not remember, in which case you have the brain of a goldfish. Actually, they were saying that when it comes to the brain of a goldfish, look at this, it was online and ice cold. That's what I was referring to, not actually goldfish. And goldfish would freeze if you put them in this kind of scenario. Does that make sense if I put it all together? Okay. They're actually saying that goldfish have a memory span of maybe 8 seconds. And humans now, because we flit around so much with different online and different gadgets and apps, have a memory span of about 7 seconds. Now, I can't qualify this because I forgot where I saw it, but you might want to not, say bad things about goldfish anymore. Oh, you might not care, it's a goldfish. All right. The iceberg illusion. Here's the thing about success, and I hope this helps to motivate you every single day. If you're watching this during your breakfast, and always leave your comments. If it's afternoon, I'd love to know. Tell me where you are around the world. It's always fascinating. We get India, we get America, we get Pakistan, we've got Britain, got Australia, we've got Germany, got Spain, got numerous countries. Come tell me where you are. I'm always fascinated to see because I love the idea of connecting with different places. So getting back to the idea of success. For most people, they think it's dead easy to get where you need to do. Get there where you need to be. All you do is start and somebody goes bing with a magic wand like Harry Potter, and suddenly before you know it, everything's fallen into place. But that's very rarely the case. The case is it takes a very long time to keep doing stuff, but it's consistency that makes a big difference. So if you look at the iceberg, above the surface you see success. Above the iceberg, you see everyone going, wow, you're rich, you're famous, you're amazing, everybody loves you. But what we don't see is the mess you've made of things, because life actually goes like this. It goes up and down. Some things work, some things don't. There's stuff I'm tweaking on this show all the time. Every single day, I do a post-mortem on how I can do the next show even better. And some stuff I dump, and I guarantee I will look at this show in a month's time and cringe at why I did certain things that didn't work. And you're probably thinking that now, and you haven't told me. Tell me. Be kind. Dave, why do you do your hair like that? Because I've got a lot of hair. But don't ask me that question, ask me other stuff. So, persistence, failure, sacrifice, disappointments. If I move to this side, you'll be able to see the rest of them. There you go. Dedication, hard work, and discipline. These are the things that normally go into making a successful person. Every success story, Zuckerberg to whoever, to J.K. Rowling's, to Jeff Bezos, whoever they are, they worked their heinies off to get to these stages. So what about all the rest of the people? Well, luck does come into it, but you can bypass luck by being smart and just being consistent. We'll be talking about grit in a future episode. And actually, when it comes down to it, grit is more effective than being trained. It's more effective than being smart. It's more effective than being lucky. If you just plod every day and keep working towards it, you will do better than most people. We'll save that for another episode. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about grit. That'd be cool. Okay, so that's the idea. Whenever you see somebody successful, you have to also take a step back and see what have they done to get there. Because I guarantee there's a massive story. And the story most people ignore. Do you know why you ignore it? Because you're in it. I don't focus on stuff that I did wrong. I look at it and bin it. And change it instantly. I'm not precious to anything that's in the show, apart from the fact I want to present it. I would change everything if I think it will make a better load of value for you to watch. And I think that nowadays, because there's so much competition, my competition isn't anymore all about the people who live in Dubai or in the UAE. My competition and my peer group is anybody around the world with a laptop and an internet connection who can turn around and broadcast. Imagine in your business, who's your competition? Interesting, isn't it? Love to have your thoughts and comments. We'll go out live every single day. YouTube, on Facebook, on Periscope, Twitter, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. Right then, as I mentioned before and many times, my name is Dave Crane. Thank you for joining me, by the way. It's a massive pleasure to have you spending quality time with me, and I hope I deliver. If I'm not delivering for you, then let me know. Tell me what you need that the job can actually provide for you, and I can help you with every single day. If you want to fast track to being a better speaker, then go to speakonstage.com. This is the website here, what you can see. Okay, speakonstage.com. That's what this show is ultimately all about, to get you to be a better speaker, because that will really help you change your brand. If you deep dive into what the actual show is like, then you can see that I'm using all these skill sets. If you go to the website, which is speakonstage.com, then you will see different things, videos and training modules. There's 10 at the moment, but I'm also working on a new one which will blow your mind, called Digital Stagecraft, which is all about doing what I do right now and how you can do it around the world and drive your business. But the basic skill sets before the lockdown were all here anyway. So with this particular module 7 is building a personal brand and content creation. And as you go up it, and you can have a look straight away, go to speakonstage.com. You can see there's videos, training videos going all about how to do your brand, how to create it. We go through all different things here. You can see all the many different, and they're in bite-sized chunks, all the videos, by the way. For everything from what should I be, to social media mixing, to your online profiling strategies, LinkedIn strategy, branding strategy, CEO and Google, fans and followers, and last thoughts on branding. And I update this all the time. As new stuff come in, I add it every single day. So make sure that you connect with that. Have a good look at it. And it's created at a very affordable investment for you. Otherwise, there's no point doing it, because I want you to be successful. That's the whole point in doing what it is that I'm currently doing. See, that makes sense, doesn't it? So with that, I'd like now just basically to say it's been a pleasure spending time with you. We love your thoughts, we love your comments, we love you to share what's worked for you. Make sure you type it in and I'll make sure that I answer as many as possible. We go out live every single weekday. I'll be doing this for a couple of weeks to see how everybody likes it, which days are the most watched days, and then I'll have a strategy that allows me to live a life as well. But that might be doing it every single day. And you're thinking, well, is that possible? Well, Ernesto Verdugo and I did the Toilet Paper Diaries, which you should look at. We'll probably feature that tomorrow. www.toiletpaperdiaries.com for 50 days after going into lockdown. Now, he's based in Houston, I'm based in Dubai, and we knew people were scared, so we wanted to create something that would help people to be able to deal with the mindset of being in lockdown, how to reinvent your business. So we ran that for about 3 months in the end. We did 50 days on the trot, had some incredible stars, and it's all on podcast, by the way. So if you want more of me, you crazy people, and you want to catch up with Ernesto, who's an incredible guy, really good speaker, and an amazing trainer, and he's a genius when it comes to reverse engineering elements of business and teaching you how to become more effective, especially with YouTube. That's his big thing right now, and his YouTube strategies are off the chart. So you need to connect with him there as well. That's a Toilet Paper Diaries. I'm going to leave you with one of my music videos. And you're saying, music videos, Dave, you can't sing. And you're probably right. I can sing if I'm at karaoke and I'm off my face. But what I do is every now and again, I do spoken word videos. And they're meant to motivate and they're meant to make you feel that the world is more accessible and you can be anything that you want to be. I hope you enjoyed today's show. It's speakonstage.com. or Speak on Stage TV, which is what we do here. I look forward to catching you next time. Until then, look after yourself and have an amazing day. I'm sorry. I didn't explain. I tried to motivate you and move you forward, but quite clearly all I brought you was pain. Tried to share some ideas and I didn't do enough to show you what I really meant, because it left you feeling confused, and afterwards your brain was spent. And I should have used smaller words and I should have been more than enough, but somehow it ended up making you feel bad, and it was kind of tough, and you wanted to have me stop and go back again, and maybe you weren't paying attention, and then you feel like you've stayed at school and you've been naughty and you're in detention, and you want to get me sharing with you more stuff, and I gotta do more for you. And you don't want to pay for it because, you know, I could get this off the internet too. But my friend told me this, and you know, the internet's the same kind of stuff as you, but I don't see why I should pay or I should make the effort, because I want it to come in a bottle as well. And if I get it in a bottle, I get it in a pill form, I'll never have to do much work. But it doesn't work that way. None of it does. If you want to get something out of life, you've got to get off your ass and move. You've got to look around and see where you've come from. You've got to make a decision. Where are you going to go? And how do you think they get there, all those stars? How do you think they get there, all those people who turn around and say, I'm amazing, I'm a Kardashian, I'm on the front of a newspaper, I'm on the front of a website, I'm an influencer, I'm a celebrity, I'm super rich, I'm super powerful? Do you think they all got it for free? Well, some did, and some didn't. Some worked their asses off, and some still do. And some people wait, and some people complain, and we don't realize how easy it is, and that might be you. One day won't matter, we'll have no time left, and people will say to you, did it matter to you how hard you worked? How many people helped you? And the answer will be no. All that matters is, what did I get out of it? And the best way to judge is that smile you have right now, or that frown that won't go away. It's your choice. It's your life. And for me, yeah, I'm gonna play.